Coming up tonight on News Center Now, we hear there's a new iOS update coming in the fall. Are you one of those people who immediately downloads the new one? Are you one of those people who has heard that this newest update might make your old phone not work? Is that true? We'll verify.
And one more reason to watch the Tokyo Olympics 1 year from now is this guy right here.
This is News Center Now.
And good evening. Happy Friday, everybody. I'm Lee Nelson.
And I'm Lindsay Mills. A band that has been around for decades is smack dab in the middle of a controversy about racism. The band is not from Maine, but they are performing here tomorrow at the Springfield Fairgrounds. They're called Confederate Railroad, a Georgia-based Southern rock band. So far this summer, the band has lost two big gigs, one of them at the Illinois State Fair because of their name and logo. The logo is a steam locomotive flying Confederate flags.
So, we'd like you to weigh in on this. Do you think this band name is racist? Should they change their name? Weigh in on our Pulse poll this evening, pulse.newscentermaine.com, or find the Pulse section of the new mobile app. It's right on our homepage. All right, with that, let's talk about the weather. It's what everybody's talking about because it's so darn perfect out there.
Right, just in time for the weekend, Keith.
Looks good. Looks good. You know, it's amazing. We've known since what, Sunday last week. That was going to be nice. So we're just rolling it forward, no surprise, but obviously in a good way. Visible satellites clean out there right now, losing the angle a bit on it, but a few puffy cumulus clouds in the mountains. That's about it. It's going to be clear the rest of tonight. Temperatures holding pretty strong. 81 in Wiscasset, 80 in Portland, 84 in Millinocket, and 85 in Caribou. These temperatures, any indication, the next few days will be in the mid-80s pretty easily because they're a few degrees warmer than guidance had indicated. Current dew points, 60s, so it's okay. It's a little sticky along the coastline, but with temperatures only around 80, it's not too brutal, and that's kind of how it'll be through this weekend as well. So hour by hour forecast, clear overnight tonight, nice through the day tomorrow. Notice we do pop up a few clouds in the mountains by tomorrow afternoon, but that's about it. Stays dry, gets into the 80s, and then a sea breeze kicks in. And then we do that again on Sunday, except on Sunday, we will have the chance for some showers and thunderstorms popping up in the afternoon. They'll be largely confined to the mountains, but a few of them might make it down to the foothills and even to inland locations here by Sunday afternoon. Both days, by the way, will feature a pretty quick onset sea breeze, so it'll be cooler along the coast. But guys, if that's the worst thing we have to worry about this weekend, we're in pretty good shape.
Piece of cake. All right, Keith, thanks. Let's check out some headlines tonight. The sentencing date has been set for John Williams, the man convicted of killing Somerset County Sheriff's Deputy Eugene Cole. According to Cole's widow, Cheryl Cole, it's September 12th at 1:00 p.m. at Superior Court in Cumberland County. In June, a jury found Williams guilty of gunning Cole down in the early morning hours of April 25th, 2018. In a Facebook post, Cheryl Cole is asking people to write victims' impact statements for the court. Those letters would be considered in determining how long John Williams will spend behind bars.
Another troubling study on bullying to report tonight. The National Center for Education Statistics says it continues to rise nationwide. This survey says about 1 in 5 students reported being bullied. The instances ranged from rumors about somebody to being excluded from social events to threats and actual physical attacks. In 2016 and 2017, cyberbullying increased from 11.5% to 15.3%. 23% of the girls reported being victims. 7% of the boys did.
Being around trees is apparently good for us, and it has nothing to do with the oxygen they're producing. Researchers in Australia studied 47,000 adults living in urban areas. The more exposure a person had to trees, the less likely they were to report psychological distress. They also reported their general health was better. So is exposure to grass just as helpful? Apparently not for that. Those people exposed to grass only reported higher psychological distress. Southwest Airlines will not be flying its Boeing 737 MAX planes until early January.
That's right, January 5th to be exact. This, of course, after those 2 deadly crashes earlier this year. The airline is the first carrier to extend its cancellations of the 737 MAX planes into 2020. Customers may face canceled flights, potentially higher fares, especially during the busy holiday travel season. Southwest also announced that it will end service at Newark Airport on November the 3rd and consolidate service at New York's LaGuardia Airport. U.S. regulators have approved T-Mobile's $26.5 billion takeover of Sprint.
That approval comes despite fears of higher prices and job cuts in the industry. The approval by the Justice Department and 5 states' attorneys general come after Sprint and T-Mobile agreed to conditions that would set up satellite TV provider Dish as a 4th wireless company. So the number of major U.S. providers remains at 4. Democratic attorneys general from 13 states have sued to stop this takeover, saying it's a bad deal for consumers. Attention iPhone users, Apple releasing the new iOS update in the fall, but there is a rumor that's circulating that it could impact maybe some older versions of the phone. Is that true?
Yeah, will it make your old phone not work?
Yeah.
Sounds like a case for the Verify team. Here's Jason Puckett.
Okay, iOS 13, Apple's newest operating system for mobile devices, comes out sometime this fall. Apple highlights new features like a dark mode, the ability to type by swiping from key to key, and performance updates. But at the bottom of the page, you'll notice a compatibility list. These devices will work with the new updates, but what about the phones not on the list? Well, there are some confusing headlines like this that claim the new iOS will kill off the iPhone 6. We even had a viewer tell us he heard that directly from an Apple Store employee. So what's the truth? Well, as the list shows, iOS 13 won't work on iPhone 6 or anything older. But key point, that doesn't mean those phones stop working. The language here gets a bit confusing. iPhone 6s and older won't get the snazzy new features of iOS 13, but the software they're running right now won't change. And most importantly, they can still use all cellular services like calling, texting, surfing the web on the go, and more. How do we know? Well, we checked with Apple and major cell providers. They all confirmed older iPhones still work as phones, they just can't use the newest features. They've actually been doing this for a while now. iOS 12, for instance, the current operating system, was only compatible back to the iPhone 5S. So if that all sounded like a bunch of tech mumbo jumbo to you, don't worry. The bottom line is that if you're holding an iPhone 6 or a model older than that, your phone won't be changed at all by the new update. You can still call, text, and whatever else you do to your heart's content, but you may see people with newer phones using some cool features you won't have access to. If you want those features, you're gonna have to shell out some moolah to upgrade to one of these phones. With your Verify, I'm Jason Puckett.
Always interesting with those.
I'll stick with mine for
Exactly.
a while.
We were just joking. Clay has the iPhone 6, and we're amazed that it still works. And it takes better photos, and I have the newer version of the phone.
Interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've heard that a lot about the cameras.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's interesting.
Interesting.
All right, quick check of our Pulse poll tonight. Should the rock band Confederate Railroad change its name? Overwhelmingly so far,
Yeah.
92% of you saying no.
Wow. All right. We'll keep taking votes and updating numbers as they come in. And we'll take a break, but coming up, a happy update for the organization Service Dogs Strong, a group we first met back in April.
And a Maine teen has his sights set on Tokyo. Ahead on News Center Now, we'll meet David Botana and his teammate, Lord Loxley.
All right, we're back with this. A man from Waterville is walking to the Four Corners of Maine. His name is Roger York. He's from Waterville, as I said, and he started his journey in June. The Four Corners are, in case you were wondering, Grafton Notch State Park, Kittery, Lubec, and Madawaska. And the Four Corners tour is actually a pretty common motorcycle ride. Roger said he was the first person to do it on a motor scooter. He says the farthest he's walked in one day, so far 16 miles. The total trip is 640 miles, and he hopes to be done by the end of August.
Some guy did it on a bicycle. So I'm walking it. I'm a goal-oriented person, and I like a challenge. There you go.
And there he goes. Once he's done, he says he's driving cross country with his wife. So safe travels.
A happy update to a story we brought you back in April. Remember Gunner? He belongs to Army veteran and sexual assault survivor Simone Emmons, the woman behind Service Dog Strong, an organization that is now, drumroll please, officially a nonprofit. Over the last few months, they've been able to spread the word about their message and raise money along the way. Now that the group is established, they will be able to pair other Mainers who are survivors of sexual assault with service dogs, which is something Simone says has given her life back. That's
Nice.
awesome.
All right, another real quick check of our poll. Still 92% saying no, that band should not be changing its name. Confederate Railroad, the name of the band. All right, take a break.
Yes, later in the show, we're going to meet a Mainer who's in one of the biggest movies of the year so far.
Yeah, and Keith returns with a look at the weekend forecast. So most high school students are working hard at that summer job right now, right?
And for one Maine team, his full-time job doesn't come with a paycheck, but it could pay off in a big way.
Good boy. Walk on.
It's the summer, and while kids his age are horsing around,
Good boy, Loxley.
17-year-old David Botana takes this horse around.
Yep, he's good.
Not just around here, the world.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We travel a lot. So just in June, we flew him to California for a competition.
Lord Loxley is a Grand Prix stallion. Describe the difference between like a pony and a Grand Prix horse. Like what's a Grand Prix for those who know nothing about the equestrian world?
Yeah, so I always like to think of it in terms of cars. So, but ponies, like, nice and reliable, like Toyota Corolla. Like, it's okay. It's not going to win any races, though. And then you get on the Grand Prix Stallion, and so all of a sudden you're in a souped-up Ferrari.
But this Ferrari knows when to slow it down.
We're completely in sync.
David is a paradressage rider.
Dressage is in an English saddle. You'll ride a pattern that varies from level to level. In paradressage, it's for people with disabilities.
David is a Grade 1 rider, the classification for riders with the most severe of disabilities.
And my test is a walk-only test. So while that may seem like, oh, it's just walking, that can't be that hard.
He has Vater syndrome, a series of birth defects that happen together.
I have severe scoliosis, so when I was 2 and 6, I was fused in my back, so I've got Harrington rods there. So I'm completely fused and immobile in my torso area. The R in Vater is radial, so I'm missing my radial bone in my left arm, which caused my thumb not to grow. So when I was born, we did a surgery to fix my pointer finger into my thumb slot.
He also has muscular weakness in his arms and legs. But David's commitment to his sport is stronger than anything. For training, he and his mom travel nearly 100 miles one way.
During the summer every day, except for Wednesdays.
Could you spend 3 hours in a car almost every day? For David, if it weren't for all that time, he and his teammate would have never met.
Not until I started riding Loxley. And the second that we started working together, I knew that we had something really special.
Together, these two began to dream and dream big.
And I'm trying to go to the Tokyo 2020 Paralympics in paradressage.
The perfect pair. A horse that's okay with slowing down to help a young man go the distance.
All the hours, all the physical therapy, all of the mental struggle that comes along with paradressage, it would all be worth it.
Now, David won't know if he's been chosen by the Olympic Committee to compete until about a month or so out from the start of the 2020 Games. His next competition is in September in North Carolina, and we do have more information on how to support his journey, which you can imagine is quite expensive, at our website and mobile app.
Impressive kid, huh? Holy cow.
And it was a beautiful day for riding yesterday. But yeah, most days of the week he's out there.
Good luck, man. Good luck.
Yeah.
Are kids getting more mature? Like, I feel like
Yes.
we interview kids, whether it be this or even high school kids for the sports thing that we do there, and they're like so varsity club. Thank you. And they're so it escaped me, and they're just so composed.
I know.
Yes.
You know?
Even the girls I coach for field hockey, I mean, they're in middle school, but they are way more mature than I ever was in middle school.
Interesting.
And maybe then you still are.
Yes, correct.
All right.
Our sports digital department really loved that. I couldn't remember the name of that. I know I could like see it, but I just couldn't remember it. Okay, here's a look at our visible satellite. Nice and sunny out there today. No surprise if you've been outside. Beautiful little 4-panel, just all good stuff here. Standish, Ellsworth, York, Portland, can't go wrong. Standish, 88. Wow, interesting. Wonder if that sensor's any good, but still, it's relatively mild out there statewide. And here are the temperatures in the low 80s. Yeah, I would say 88. It's probably not too accurate, but 84 in Freiburg, 81 in Wiscasset. Water temperature 68, but that's like the best you're going to do on Maine's coast because you should go up it. It's still in the 50s over down East Maine. Dew points are just right on the line there. They're right around 60, but getting a little higher and rocking at 66. And that's where they'll stay over the weekend. Reasonable, not crisp, but reasonable. Not enough to, Lee, we did a story on how they want to change Halloween. So it won't make you, like, it's not going to be Halloween crisp. Are we doing that story in this?
Yes, we are talking about it again this evening. So
okay,
yeah.
all right. Okay, at 5:30. I didn't even mean to tease, and I did. But they want to change the day of Halloween. Anyways, hour-by-hour forecast showing you the rest of tonight looks clear. Tomorrow looks good. Again, a few clouds in the mountains. That should do it. There will be a sea breeze. It's going to be a pretty hard sea breeze both days. So it starts off warm in the beach if you go early, but you get hit by noon or 1, and it cools back down into the 70s. And then Sunday starts with sun, but we end up with a couple of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon, especially over western Maine and the mountains, but a lot of us do stay dry. And then we start warming up more here on Monday with a couple of scattered showers in the afternoon. But we get this high offshore. This high becomes a Bermuda high, and that's when we get into kind of the juicier air. With that comes the warmer air as well. So your temperature trend is up here through Tuesday, and I continue to think Tuesday is a 90 plus for the vast majority of the state. A couple of 93s possible farther inland. And then we stay probably in the mid 80s here on Wednesday, come back down on Thursday and Friday. Interesting, guys, I got a couple guys who need to work in the attic of the house we're renovating, and they were scheduled for Tuesday, and I was like, I'm going to go ahead and say no to that. Like being inside an attic on Tuesday, unless you want to come at 5 in the morning or something like that.
That's nice
But it starts to cool down after that, and yeah, the weekend looks good. There's a couple of pop-up things here. There's Sunday and Wednesday, but nothing big. Nothing big. Lee is pleased.
Yes.
Exactly. Awesome. Thanks, Keith. Well, if you're heading to the movies this weekend, you should be on the lookout for a Mainer who's made it to the silver screen. As a student athlete at Edward Little High School in Auburn, Brianna Wing also invested her time participating in the drama club. Since graduating in 2007, that time has paid off. The actress has landed a role in Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, one of the biggest films of the year so far. In her feature film debut, Wing plays the role of Cheyenne, the hippie hitchhiker.
I'm pretty sure I bounced through the house when I found out that I got to be in front of the camera. I was so excited. Keep at it, especially when you're from a small town. If it's something that you really want to do, you just have to know that it comes in waves.
And she is no stranger to a Tarantino film. She was an art department assistant on Django Unchained in 2012, and before that she was an art department intern for The Amazing Spider-Man and Water for Elephants and Iron Man 2.
She's putting in her time. She's making friends. It's happening for her.
She's so stoked, and she definitely had that Cinderella moment on the red carpet. I mean, oh gosh, how cool would that be?
Yeah, super cool. Super cool. Congratulations. That's awesome. All right, let's talk to Cindy, see what's coming up at 5:30.
Hi, guys. We're going to start with a story that's concerning to a lot of people, and that is that Border Patrol agents all across the U.S. and here in Maine are boarding public buses to look for undocumented immigrants. And Maine's ACLU is getting involved now to try to stop this. We got the details on that. Also, I had a summer camp I really wish I could go to. It is the Fish and Game Association camp, where you learn, among other things like fishing and hunting, also how to survive in the woods. You know, if they could guarantee there would be no black flies, I would be there.
I'll be right behind you.
If there's a comfy mattress, that would help me.
Exactly. There's a thing called glamping that we can.
Yes, that would
can
be the
use.
only kind of camping that I would be interested in. Sorry, that's just me.
See you guys in a bit. We're back with Raindrops after this. One quick last check of our Pulse poll results tonight. 92% of you say no, the rock band Confederate Railroad should not change its name.
Man, we're having pulse polls that are not our normal split lately. I kind
know.
of am interested by it.
Yeah.
All right, it's good. We can agree on stuff every once in a while. Okay, Mercury in retrograde. Before you play this animation here, so Lindsay believes that when Mercury is in retrograde, she shouldn't do a lot of
Make
things
big decisions, use technology, because it can all go wrong.
Right. So this is like a thing that started in the 60s. Apparently, it was relatively recent, and so we're not going to get into that because obviously that's hogwash. But what is Mercury in retrograde? What does it really even mean? So retrograde means backwards. So Mercury in retrograde is when it appears to us on Earth as though Mercury is going backwards in our sky. So 1 second, just hold this for a second because I want to establish a couple of facts. One, Mercury is closer to the sun than us. I know this seems silly, but it's been a while for some of us before we talked about this.
Sure.
Their orbit is tighter to the sun, shorter. As a result of that, their cycle, their year, so to speak, cycle around the Earth is around the sun is 88 days, which means that it is 4 times slower. Okay, now let's go. So 4 times faster. Now let's go with this animation. Now watch it. What happens here is it goes around, and this is kind of lapping us, right? Mercury is going faster and faster. It appears to us, look in the sky. This is what it looks like.
This works now.
It looks like it's going backwards when we start to get the angle on it as it makes that turn.
But it's not.
So it happens 4 times of the year, and it looks like for it's about a week and a half that it's going backwards.
Well, you know what? Mercury is certainly in retrograde for us because a certain someone is leaving us.
Right. So in this case, it actually came true. Chris, join us, if you will.
We're sad. See, things go wrong when Mercury's in retrograde, which it is right now.
Well, they're going right for Chris, just
Yeah.
wrong for us.
So yes.
So Chris is going to be going to our kind of affiliates in Houston, and going to be doing some reporting for them. So this is a big jump, right?
Yeah.
You excited?
Yeah, I am excited. I get to use this microphone too.
Yeah.
They give me the special one. Yeah, I'm very excited. But I'm really gonna miss. I mean, everything you guys are seeing in the pictures behind us. All the people I've worked with here have been great. Challenge us to do good work every single day. Meet some really incredible people in all these different communities. And one of the best parts is talking to you guys on our Facebook live stream. Seriously, we get to interact with people in a totally different way. And we took a risk on this show, and here we are. And
I love that. That was perfectly timed. That was perfectly timed.
we took a risk. That's what happened. But I've met amazing people, made amazing friends here. I'm going to miss giving you hell.
Yeah, of course. You can still do that remotely, though.
Yeah, so anyway.
It's going to be big. We're going to miss you. And, of course,
I know.
there was you accepting the National Murrow Award, which is when we knew we lost you.
Right.
At
that point, you're like, oh, bigger, better things.
Wow.
No, you've been so great and you're the original, you two are both the original members of this now
OGs,
team,
yeah.
right? So then
Yeah.
there was Keith.
And then there was me.
Wow.
That's all that's left of this
You'll
current
hold it down, right?
cast of show. Yeah.
I would just like to point out that it was really fun going through some of these photos today of you, but you do have more photos of your dog Kai than you do of yourself.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
All
Nobody
right.
wants to look at me.
Well,
No.
Chris, we wish you the best of luck,
I
my
know,
man.
Coco.
Of course.
Appreciate
Good
it.
luck.
Thank you.
Oh, all right. You want to send us off to do Center Main at 5:30?
Yeah. New Center Main at 5:30 starts right now.